everyone, I'm Jen and I'm a woman in long-term recovery. I'm also a CARC, a SERPA, a rape crisis counselor, and a Narcan trainer. If you look at my description box below, you will find a video that tells you what all of that is, how you can get it in the state of New York, and if not, if you need help, please get in touch with me. You'll also find all the links to my social media, as well as I'll put it right here. And you will also find the link to Smacked, is a documentary that I was involved with the lovely Jessica Vecchione when I was like 3 seconds, if that, into my sobriety. Also, you'll find the links to Amazon wishlist. My Amazon wishlist are ridiculously important to me. My harm reduction one is available by request only, so please get at me if you want it. It's empty. I'm struggling, just put it that way. And same for Go Bags, but Go Bags is listed. Go Bags is what I use to help people who are newly home from incarceration or just out of rehab, etc., things like that. Now, let's get into it today. So I mentioned this a couple weeks ago, but Bella was baptized in prison, as you all know. I will link the video to that right there, so this way you guys can see that as well. She was baptized inside Bedford Hills Correctional Facility in 2012. While I was there, I was in the nursery program with her because I had her in prison. When I was in the nursery program, we had a nursery aide, and her name was Leanne Armanini. She was an absolute breath of fresh air. Leanne was godsend. She was amazing. The simple fact that there was another inmate who didn't judge you and who was able to help you learn how to do mom things and facilitate between you and the prison staff or the nursery staff, it was amazing. Leanne is, I should say, do you ever meet those people in your life and you think to yourself, like, have a mean bone in their body, like they're just good. They just exude goodness. That's Leanne. And I've been locked up with a lot of murderers. I've been friends with a lot of murderers, big bad murderers. And some people, you look at them and they're like, yep, they did that shit. But then there's a very, very small few. And you look at them and you're like, dude, I believe them. Like, in my soul, I believe them. Leanne is that person. So I have my little cheat sheet. My cheat sheet actually today, you guys all get a kick out of this, is Bella's little play phone. So Leanne, Leanne was born in 1967, and she is accused of having part in the January 2001 murder that took place. She was sentenced to 25 to life on April 28th, 2004. And the man who was shot and killed in Suffolk County, New York, was Alexander Algieri, and he was 32. So, little backstory. Leanne's children's father and husband at the time owned a gym in Long Island. And he was just a shitty dude. Like, he was a raging coke addict and crack smoking addict, or crack addict, however you want to say it. And he used to beat on her. He was just shitty. Besides that, he used to beat on her. He used to, get physical with her in front of the kids, scream at them. Like, it was just a very bad situation. Like, if your homegirl was hooked up with a dude like this, you would be like, girl, what are you doing? Like, get out and leave him, your typical domestic violence, underappreciated, substance use disorder fueled relationship, but with kids. So this is what she has told me personally herself. He literally one night was like, yeah, I'm going out. And she was like, whatever, bye. So finally, 2 weeks later, when he didn't come back, she thought either A, he left her, or B, I'm done. I'm just done. So she packed up her shit, she packed the kids, and she left him. Whatever the case may be. Okay. She meets this dude, right? This dude, Ralph. Okay. Ralph's like an around the way type of guy. Meaning he has some little connections to certain groups, we'll say. Okay. Now, Ralph was his own special kind of like psychoticness. Ralph became obsessed with Leanne. Like, she even told me some like little personal things, like, you know, she'd be food shopping. He'd be in the parking lot in his car watching her with the kids food shopping. Like, just weird stuff, just like over the top, obsessed, like obsessed. Like, flattery is one thing, obsession is another. And he was obsessed with her. And she was like, this, I'm going from one bad situation to the next. So this is not healthy for me. This is not healthy for my kids. Like, I need to get out of here. So she packed up the kids and she moved to Florida. Like, she moved, what, 5 states away to get away from this man. She knew he was crazy. So she moved. She started working at a daycare. So one day, you know, she's at the apartment building where the daycare was run, like an in-home daycare. There's a knock on the door. She opens the door and she's like, hey, how are you? And it's detectives from New York. So these detectives from New York, they're like, are you Leanne? Da, 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 da. And of course, right away, she's like, yeah, because she knows she didn't do anything wrong. So she has no reason to be like, no, I don't know who you're talking about. So they ended up taking her in, extraditing her back to New York, and started this case. And the crazy part is, Ralph got pissed off. He thought the reason why she left him was because she was going back to her husband. Mind you, in the meantime, when she left Ralph, like, there was an extended period of time. Like, it wasn't like a couple of whatever. So her and Ralph were probably together about a year, and she ended up getting pregnant with his son. So now she has her children from her previous marriage and a child from him. It's just a crazy situation. So they arrest her, they extradite her. She goes back and she's in jail. And like, she's so clueless to the legal system because she's really never done anything wrong in her life that she really thinks like this trial is going to happen and she's going to get cleared of all charges because she knows in her heart of hearts she did nothing. Ralph thought it was the reason she left was because of the ex-husband, like I was just saying. So Ralph went and wanted to kill her ex-husband, thinking, well, if this dude's out the way, she's going to see that she truly loves me and I'm such an amazing person, because he's crazy, and she's going to come back to me. Well, Ralph is so bad at doing the things that he does that he doesn't realize, well, I guess maybe he did realize it, but didn't realize it. So Leanne's former husband has a business partner, this guy, Alex, and they look so similar. They can be brothers. People, they've known each other forever. People always mistake them for brothers, da, 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 da. Ralph kills the wrong guy. Leanne's husband is out on a coke binge yet again, you know, out for weeks or whatever. He sits in front of the gym and waits at night, and he sees Alex coming in late at night, and he assumes it's Leanne's husband, and it's not. And he kills him, and he kills the wrong man. That's how, like, this guy is. So not only did he commit murder out of a jealous rage, he also killed the wrong dude. So, I mean, that in itself just takes it to a level of craziness, right? It was actually Ralph and his friend ended up staking out the gym. Ralph and his friend Scott stake out the gym to kill Leanne's husband, but end up killing his business partner, Alex, and on top of it, when he shot him, he left his gun there. So he literally gave them evidence. Like, he's just a silly man all the way around. It was crazy. So they tried to peg Leanne as the mastermind. I'm just reading you guys some, key points. So the court tried to say that they thought because Leanne and her husband were still married, that's why her last name is Rydell. They thought because her and Mr. Rydell were still married, that when he passed away, however that was, everything was going to be left to her. Scott, who was Ralph's buddy that helped in the murder, when he was arrested, he turned on them completely turned on them, and made it seem like they were the two and they bullied him into doing it. It was just a crazy situation. Um, so Leanne is actually, there's a snapped episode. It's season 1, episode 6, and it's the Leanne Rydell story. They try and make her out to be, and this is the thing, like, this is what pisses me off. The fact that she was a single mom, they used against her. The fact that she used to work at a strip club, they used against her. The fact that she was gorgeous, because she still is absolutely stunning inside and out, they use that against her. Like, they use the simple fact that she has a vagina against her. Everything that was womanly about her, they used against her. You know, and it infuriates me that the legal system is still so incredibly wrong, especially about women, but whatever. They just make her out to be this like Lolita, and she's anything but. She is the woman who taught me how to clip my daughter's fingernails because I was petrified, and Bella was born with like these claws. I did not know, because I did not have a good relationship with my mother, as you all know, that when you have a baby and your baby has an umbilical cord that is still attached, you have to clean that. I did not know that. Leanne taught me that. And you guys can come for me in the comments, because you have been lately, and that's cool. I got this. I've been through worse. But there are certain people in your life, and I personally know this woman and I know her heart. And I'm going to post her information so you guys can write her if you want, because she deserves that. I truly feel like she was so naive to the men that she was involved with. And in all sincerity, I've had that situation happen in my life in the past, where I did not realize the guys that I was hanging around with, I knew they were bad boys, but not as bad as they truly were. And sometimes that absolutely happens. And I feel like that truly happened for her. And I'm very sad that she's still incarcerated. She has another 6 years to do before she can even consider going in front of the board, only for them to deny her for the nature of the crime. Because anytime you have a 25 to life bid in New York State and you go in front of the board, they hit you your first time due to the nature of the crime. And that makes me really sad, you know. Ralph got life in jail, life in prison without the chance of parole, because he deserved it. Not only did he plan someone's murder, but he killed the wrong man and then left his gun next to the body. I mean, whatever. But because Leanne was beautiful and voluptuous and dark hair, and I'll post pictures so you guys can see, they used that against her like it was her fault this man committed this crime because she was pretty. He committed a crime because he was nutty. I just think, Ralph's nickname was Rocco, okay? So Rocco was obsessed with Leanne from the beginning. He met her through her husband, actually. And he was just obsessed with her at all times. And he saw the way her husband treated her, and he felt like he was her hero. She was 36 years old when she got incarcerated for 25 to life. Dude, I can't even imagine trying to swallow that pill. It makes me sad, because her ex-husband, Paul, was just a really abusive, shitty human to her and their children. And they make him out to be the victim in this, like, oh, poor guy, poor guy. And yes, I'm sorry that Rocco wanted to take his life. Absolutely. Nobody deserves to take anybody else's life, hands down. But in this case, Rocco is where he deserves to be. Unfortunately, Alex was killed in the meantime, and Paul's still just a shitty human. And Leanne, who literally was caught in the middle of these bad men, because they were bad men all the way around, now has done almost 21 years of her life without her babies. I know her oldest son, actually, he's now a police officer. And her baby, she doesn't even get to see. I mean, just makes me really sad. She's still at Bedford Hills Correctional Facility. I will pin her DIN number and the address if you guys want to write her. And I just, There are certain people that are really bad and deserve to go away for the crimes that they're committed of. And then there are certain people that don't. And she is truly one of them. And I love her dearly, and I always will. And I really hope that she either can make an appeal, because she's been appealing for years. I hope she'll be granted an appeal, or clemency at this point. I mean, shit. Or she makes that parole board in 6 more years. 6 years, for anyone who's been incarcerated, they understand it. 6 years is a lifetime, bro. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Leanne is a gorgeous soul inside and out. I will post her information. Please don't come for me in the comment section. I'm not supporting murderers. I'm supporting her. I'm supporting her as a human being and as a woman, because she deserves it. And I truly don't feel like she's guilty. I hope you guys all have a beautiful weekend. And remember, we recover loudly, so those behind us do not suffer in silence. Bye.